I believe that God created man and woman, so for man and woman to be together, be married. Religion and spirituality is
what
different.
you believe in is not what, right.
The world we live in now, anything is welcome because we have diverted so far away from
the way things used to be, at least
for children.
Boy, this woman's about to make a whole lot of comments throughout the season. That's if she's going to be a part of the whole season. And she's definitely going to have people talking. Especially with when she talks about people, obviously, you know, about kids already being confused in same-sex marriages and etc. etc. So yeah, let's get into it.
To have two of the same sex parents, let alone 3 parents.
Is a friend for me. I get like a built-in friend.
Like a sister.
Like a sister.
And a wife for me.
I mean, listen, for the sake of a conversation, let me know your thoughts though down below in the comment section. You know, obviously, do you feel like it's unfair for kids to be in a household where they have same-sex parents? Do you think it's unfair for kids to be in a household where they have a father who has more than one wife, or even vice versa, a mother that has more than one husband? Because don't forget, folks, there is that new show on TLC called Seeking Brother Husband, which is just, yeah. So yeah, do these dynamics make a difference to a child's upbringing in a bad way, or do they make a difference to a child's dynamic in a good way, or do they just make whatever difference they make regardless? Because a child could be born in a house where there's a mother and a father, but then the household could be very toxic between the mother and father. Do you see what I'm saying? And then a child could grow up in a household with same-sex parents, but then those same-sex parents could be amazing people and have a very healthy relationship that is displayed in front of that child, you know? And at the same time, a child could grow up in a household with more than 2 parents, you know what I mean, for that matter, you know, whether it's 3, 4, whatever, based on the sister-wife situation, whatever. But that relationship could be, you know, also be healthy, or could also be a toxic one. But either way, though, what I think really and truly what it comes down to is what environment matters most. Does a positive environment matter more than who is in the environment, if that makes sense? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's have that conversation, folks. Let me know your thoughts down below.
We're wanting to grow our family, not have somebody take care of our family.
You're fulfilling your needs. You know, you guys are wanting an extra person to help you raise kids. You're wanting to build a village. This is going to be getting sexual intimacy out of it. Billy's going to be getting a sister out of it.
I mean, to be honest, it's very clear this woman's quite naive and she's very stuck in her own ways and she only wants to see things in certain ways. You know what I mean? The question is she ever going to be open-minded to understand that, you know, things that this lifestyle may not be so bad? I mean, listen, if anybody that watches Sister Wives, you know, obviously those kids came from a big family. Big family, you know? And, you know, did the kids turn out that bad? You know what I mean? So that's a prime example there. And that dynamic is a whole lot more of a different ballgame. You know what I mean? I mean, in fact, you're all dealing with a family where now we've got Mary's daughter who's now transitioned into Leon. You know what I mean? Obviously, everybody seems to be accepting and welcoming. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, I just feel like this woman she really needs to open up her mind.
Are they going to be made fun of? I know we shouldn't care what people think, but it's the harsh reality, right? Like, how are these kids going to be treated because they have 2 moms?
Well, I mean, listen, the best way she can go about it is go find 2 women that are together who got a kid and then ask the kid how that lifestyle is. How about that? There's your answer right there. But again, though, even that wouldn't answer anything. Like I said before, what it really comes down to is what matters more. A child coming from a family that displays healthy tendencies, or a child that comes from a family where it's only mom and dad. There is no same sex. There is no plural. You see what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts down below. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next one.
Another little Davis on the way, and so we're really excited.
Davis, man, Nick Davis. This guy's a certified pimp. Yeah, okay. This is another baby in the way. Now, bear in mind, Jennifer's the only woman that he has in his life who actually has his biological kids. Because the kid that April had is a son that April already had before his existence. So I do wonder if that's going to make a dynamic at some point, if that's going to change things. But to be fair, Nick's too smart for that. Nick would never allow himself he would never put himself in a position where he's going to lose one of the wives due to his own actions, you see what I'm saying? Granted, Dannielle left, but Dannielle left on her own accord because she didn't want another wife added to the mix, which is whatever, innit? But hey, if this was Cody Brown on the other hand, yeah, we all know we all know how he would handle the situation. But anyway, let's continue.
I have been in a polygamous relationship before, a couple of them in the past, and I will be honest that I have some moments of jealousy that maybe Nick might love April more than me because he's been with her longer than me.
You know, for somebody who's been in, by the sounds of it, more than one polygamous relationship in the past, but yet it still hasn't worked out for her and she's still on the prowl looking for another one, that tells me whatever jealousies that she had in the previous ones, I don't believe that she's learned from it. And I do believe that the things that she's talking about now, how, you know, regarding being jealous, I reckon these things are probably going to play a part in her this season, to be honest with you. But she doesn't sound like somebody that has learned from this behavior.
Jenny more than me because she's giving birth to his children, and it kind of just makes me feel like I'm not enough. But that's a me problem. That's not a Nick issue.
Just because she identifies that it is her, that it is not a Nick problem, it is a her problem, doesn't mean that she's dealt with it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's sounds like she's on the step of on the journey of understanding where she is obviously an issue in the situation. I mean, you know, kudos to her on that. But boy, yeah, straight off the bat, this already tells me who's going to be the problematic one in their relationship, obviously this season. And also on top of that, Teresa comes into the season also with a child of her own too. So April and Teresa obviously both have kids of their own that obviously are in this relationship. But the difference is obviously Nick has been there to raise April's child. Do you know what I mean? Obviously his son now at this point. Do you know what I mean? Obviously Teresa's obviously coming with her own son. Yeah, so we have to see obviously how that pans out. But this woman right now, for me personally, I guess she's going to be the one that's going to cause the drama of the season for their relationship, basically replacing Dannielle's role. But I guess we have to wait and find out and see obviously how this pans out. But obviously for the people who didn't watch the episode, Teresa is somebody that they didn't actually court her. She's somebody who has been a long-term friend of Nick's for a very long time. And she's somebody that actually approached them and said, listen, I'll be interested to join your little mix. I actually really want to be a part of, you know, your lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, right now they're all feeling quite optimistic that everything's going to work. And also Teresa's already moved in as well with the family as well, just to give you guys an update of exactly where they're at. So seems like obviously things are progressing well, but we have to wait and see. But with that being said though, let's crack a lack with the next one.
I have my daughter, he has his kids, and Angelica. And so our time is restricted around, oh, we'll try to watch a movie, and then it's going to result in 20 minutes in, we're both sleeping.
You spoken to him about this?
I don't think I've had, like, a serious sit-down conversation with him.
Honestly, I feel like this woman's moving a bit mad, to be honest with you, because look at it this way right here. She knows that she's got a kid. She knows that Matt and Angelica, so that's Janae, obviously, this is Angelica. She knows that Matt and Angelica, who are married, obviously have got kids of their own. So obviously she knows that, of course, you know, as a parent, he's going to have to be there for his kids. So therefore, and also on top of that, because they don't live nearby, it's also a problem. To be fair, if they live closer by, I guess it wouldn't be as much of a problem, but they don't live as close by neither, which is obviously something that definitely is going to make things even more challenging for them. But how, I don't know why, it's as if she's expecting him to one day just be like, you know, F it. I'm going to, like he's just going to neglect his own kids and his own wife for her. She needs to recognize it's never going to happen. Clearly, it's clearly never going to happen. You know, because if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now, if anything, do you see what I'm saying? But obviously, she's being stressed about the fact that she's not getting enough attention from him. Which, granted, I can respect that. But this is why being in these type of relationships can be very, very tricky. You know, for times like these. But anyway, let's get it. But because it's like she's essentially asking if Angelica can take up more responsibility looking after their kids. So therefore, he can spend more time with her. Oh, that's crazy business. But bear in mind that Angelica works as well, so that's not even possible. It'd be different if she was a stay-at-home mom, but she's not.
I feel like I need to play hardball with him so he can really understand, like, no, like, I'm serious about this. I have to show up in ways that I have not seen in a really long time. And if things don't change between Matthew and I from him.
If things don't change between Matthew and I mean, listen, things aren't going to change. The only way it could change is if he was to shoot his current wife in the foot, as well as also he does kisses of that, and that's basically by neglecting them for you. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen. The best case scenario is that you move. You gotta move, move closer. That's it. Problem solved.
And seriously consider moving on from him. That I want us to spend more time together, and I feel like sometimes I become like an afterthought.
I mean, you don't live in the household, you don't live in the same town as them, you live quite far away, so I can understand why she would feel like out of thought. But really and truly, before she decided to get into the plural marriage or plural relationship, whatever, to be a sister wife, she should have really thought about location being a factor. Because location is always going to be a factor in this situation. Especially when you want your needs met and you know that he can't even just come and see you at any moment in time, vice versa.
Talk about it because I truly do like care about.
But saying that at the same time, though, his needs will always be met because he's got a whole wife at home. It's just her needs that obviously will be suffering. Oh man, it's a calamity.
You, and I value the relationship, and I don't want it to end. But if something doesn't change,
like our schedule, like me and you, it is really tough. But I'll help as much as I can.
I would love to spend the night with Sinead, but I also have to be home early in the morning because Angelica has to go to work and she needs help with the kids.
Low key though, his wife looks like a child, man. I won't lie to you. Like, if like she looks like a full-on teenage girl. I won't lie to you. Her genes are powerful, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got the age serum going on. Youth serum, that's the one. Yeah, I mean, listen, the fact that Angelica wants to try to do her best to, you know, keep the sister wife. I mean, okay, that's cool, but I don't know if Angelica realizes that if her trying to even try and help him to be with her more is probably going to shoot her in the foot more than she realizes. She's probably going to end up seeing her husband more. The husband's going to end up seeing his kids less. Yeah. So she'll end up seeing her husband less as well as the kids see him less. But I feel like right now, Matt isn't going to sacrifice his relationship with his kids or his wife for somebody else personally. And also on top of that, the sister-wife idea wasn't even his. It was his wife's idea. So there's that part. He's just enjoying the benefits of it.
Sinead can't always come to us because she also has a job and her own kid. We can get a room.
And after all that conversation, he says, so do you want to get a room? Oh, man, just like that. Bro was like, yeah, I'm listening to you, but when do we get in this room? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to smash. Yeah, I want to smash, then go home, clean up, and then smash my wife. You know what I mean? Then wake up and then do my daddy duties. That is hilarious. Damn. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did respond to her, you know what I mean? It's not like he ignored obviously what she was saying. It's just funny the way he was like, okay, well, we spoke about it now, so can we get down to the can we now get down to business, please? Okay. Yes. You know why I'm really here, right? But anyway, let's move on to the last one.
Garrick has his master suite on the first floor. Now that there's 2 wives in the house, Lorraine and I take turns going downstairs and spending nights with Garrick.
Honestly, when you hear somebody say we take turns, that just sounds so Yes, I have to take turns with another woman to enjoy my husband. That's crazy business. Not gonna lie to you. That line would never make sense to me. It would never like land comfortably. You know, sometimes when you hear something over again and again and again, it starts to land like comfortably in your mind because it becomes normal to you. That just doesn't sound normal to me because it's been so normalized as something more grotesque, shall I say.
I've seen other people live plural where the man goes to the woman's room. That is just not how it should be. Basically, Garrick's room, and I think a man should be at peace in his home and have comfort and be able to relax. And
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. As a man, I agree with that statement. I ain't even gonna disagree. Yeah, we should have comfort. And what she says next, I agree even more.
From my perspective as a wife, like, the man should be the king of his castle.
I mean, listen, I ain't complaining. That's exactly how it should be. Yeah, the king of his castle, the god of his heaven, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, being the king of the castle, you got to still make sure that your wife feels like she's the queen of the castle too. You cannot be the queen. You cannot be the king and make your wife feel like she's a peasant. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, so there is that part too. Yeah, I mean, there is no king. Well, I was going to say there is no king without no queen. Actually, no, that's true because every king has to find a queen. You know what I mean? So end of the day, there is no king without a queen. So there's also that part too. But Dannielle obviously hasn't processed that bit. So, you know, the matter of fact is when it comes to this situation here, does Dannielle consider herself the queen? You know, does she see herself valued as his queen? Or does she see herself valued as his peasant? You know what I mean? The peasant that allows him to have a whole other wife. Woo! That's crazy business.
Uma família pobre, muito pobre. Minha avó que me criou, criou os meus irmãos. É uma casa humilde, mas muito.
You know, as soon as that scene came in, she talked about obviously coming from a more poor house, blah blah blah. I was like, people are gonna eat this up. People are gonna be like, yo, she's a gold digger. She's just there just to get a green card, and then she's gonna bounce. Da 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 da. And listen, you never know. That could be a possibility. It could be a possibility, you know. But we have to wait and see. But let's be honest. Let's just call it what it is, right? Even if, you know, Lorena is here for the purpose of just getting a green card, or here just to have the easy life, just to live off Garrick and Dannielle and just to chew or whatever. Let's be real, none of us are going to be mad at her because a lot of people don't like Dannielle and Garrick, so they want to see a lot of people want to see them two being used, you know what I mean, because of their stupidity. So there is that part too. So I wouldn't be surprised if people are like, I really hope she's using them, you know. Karma needs to come to these two. So yeah, we have to wait and see obviously how that develops anyway.
Quit, unfortunately, which sucks. She can't work for like 3 to 6 months. So we got to get married. We got 90 days, so that's good. Wrap it up. Figure out.
Well, the good thing is that obviously there is a plan for her to work at some point, so that's a good thing. But best believe I would not be surprised if the money that she earns goes straight back home to her family, okay? So she can help support them, because that's usually a thing that, you know, most people do when they leave their countries, whether it's people from any country in South America, or people from any country in Africa, or any country in Asia. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people who do send money back, and anyone from any country in general.
Got a prenup yet? Well, I know you and I talked and we agreed to do that. So. Make sure with Lorena being here that Garrick is careful with what he does.
I mean, to be fair, he's not wrong, you know, and I think obviously he has, because obviously he's his business partner, obviously he doesn't want to be shot in the foot because Garrick's a hungry, Bible-using, thirsty mofo, you know what I mean? Because we all know how he uses the Bible to basically justify him having more women. So, I know, listen, I completely agree. I feel like it has nothing to do whether Garrick trusts this woman or not. It's more down to the fact that his business partner needs clarity that Garrick is at least going to not allow a young woman be the reason why he doesn't, you know, get a prenup. Because at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, you know, it affects both of them in regarding the business side of things. So yeah, Garrick should definitely get a prenup purely because of his business partner. Yeah, I mean that's how I would sell it anyway.
Because him and I have a business together, he would sign a prenuptial agreement.
Got a lot to do. Maybe you're gonna have to.
To be honest with you, I tell you what the business partner should have done. You should really get Garrick to sign a contract. I mean, I was gonna say he should have gotten him to sign a contract a long time ago to say that he, you know, if you ever bring a woman from Brazil or from around the world, they must sign, you know, X, Y, Z. But of course, around that time when their business was together, who is he to know that this was the lifestyle Garrick was going to go into anyway? So yeah, I mean, I would say that for sure. He he can still write up a contract right now saying that Garrick must da. You know what I mean? But either way though, Garrick should definitely get the prenup purely because of the business side of things. You know, that should be the main reason, so he doesn't shoot his partner in the foot. Because obviously his partner's got a family fee too. You know what I mean? Well, let me know your thoughts on that one yourself in particular, you know what I mean? And yeah, we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.